So the derailment is also leading to questions about how much hazardous material travels the rails in our region.
CBS 13's Andrew Hobner is live in Roseville getting answers on how prepared state agencies are and why some things can only be moved by train. Andrew.
Yeah, guys, here at the J.R. Davis Rail Yard in Roseville, you can even see it behind me. They're hauling everything. It can be coal, it can be cars, it can even be hazardous materials that can pose a risk anywhere you are. But safety officials and security agencies here in California say they are well prepared should the worst happen. Do you know what is on the rails in your neighborhood? It may be hazardous materials, but Greg Reagan of the AFL-CIO says that's one of the only ways to transport them.
It is a very dangerous industry. There is always going to be risk there.
The president of the Transportation Trades Department, which oversees all rail unions in the country, says to trust rail workers.
This industry and these workers are so important, and this is a really important way that they can contribute is by moving these dangerous chemicals in the safest way that we have at our disposal right now.
Locally, Cal OES says they're prepared.
Every firefighter in the state of California is trained to identify what those basic parameters are.
Whether it was the 1973 Roseville Rail Yards explosion or the 2011 Lincoln propane fire, emergency services have had to act on the rails. Events that have helped the OES hazmat team evolve.
This is staffed with a crew of 7 that goes out the door, and they're there to do everything from suiting up to make entry, to helping with the command and control, to help identify the products.
Reagan says this may lead to more safety regulations.
Too often when we see major advancements in safety, it's because something really awful happened.
While Collins says there is a limit to how helpful the openness can be.
Having a pre-plan for every rail car coming through your city, for example, we have access to those, but it's not like we're pre-planning every train coming through.
And as lessons are learned, Reagan says he hopes people keep this in the public consciousness.
And we also need to make sure that lawmakers and regulators, that we hold them accountable, that they continue to advocate to see real change, because they know what the economic and the potential safety consequences are for not changing.
Now, Lawrence Collins with Cal OES did tell us that when trains are transporting significantly hazardous materials, radioactive materials, for instance, there are pre-plans that they have with the railroad companies for those situations in particular. The NTSB is going to be conducting an investigation in East Palestine after that train derailment. But one thing that I was told from Cal OES and the AFL-CIO is that there is difficulty in really assessing what the damage is, because it could be years, even decades, until we figure out the full scope of the chemicals released into the air out there in Ohio.
Wow, certainly makes you think twice when you see a train coming down the tracks then.
Yeah, that is one long train behind you, that's for sure. Andrew, thank you.